Because
Nice.
I
Yeah,
know I
Twitch
know
is
how to
not
record
brutal
on this
about the
shit.
VODs.
Yeah, I know. I guess they don't want everybody fucking doing it or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it, but let me doing it or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it, but let me doing it or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it, but let me doing it or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it, but let me doing it or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it, but I'm putting this in a loop. Shit. Okay, okay, okay. Now I just gotta open up Discord. Hopefully not leak my DMs. Please be on the other monitor. Thank God. Sick. All right, and then it's enter the kiwi, right?
Yes.
Let me. Let's post it in here too, because okay. Now hopefully I can stop crashing everybody's shit. Here we go. Cool. There we go. All right. I think I'm all set up.
Nice.
So this is a Marth lesson with enter the kiwi. We're going over Marth Puff. Um, you're in Seattle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Word, word. Okay, so he's playing against Connect Four Master in this. Is the first game the Battlefield one? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, and I gotta make sure I stream to you too. So let me get that going really quick. In an ideal world, this all looks great. Yep. Okay. Cool. We're out here. I'm figuring it out. Shit. Yeah. And then I just got to stream this to you. All right.
Nice. Yeah, I can see everything.
Perfect. I'm gonna turn you up a bit. You're a little quiet for my taste. But also, like, my audio is all. I have, like, too many different channels of audio to balance things. It's kind of fucky wucky. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so where do you feel like your struggle points are in this matchup before we go into it?
Okay, so I think I get kind of the basic punish concepts, like the different areas of the punish. And I don't have great execution, but that much I feel like I can figure out just by practicing. So like low percent regrab or like lead a low percent grab into nair and all that kind of stuff, building damage. Once I get the hit, that seems pretty much okay. Um, but what I really struggled with, and Brian pointed this out to me as well after we played, is that it felt like I could never challenge him in the air,
Interesting.
which meant that a lot of the time he never went to ground. Like he was saying, "Oh, Marth tilt is really good," and yeah, I agree with that. But if you can't challenge Puff in the air, uh, then they have very little motivation to be on the ground at all, where you can kind of play off of those, uh,
Yeah,
you
that makes
know,
sense.
situations. So you'll maybe have more insight into that, but that was, I guess, the main things. It feels like I just don't know what to do against Puff in neutral, which
Yeah.
means that she takes space, I get pushed into the corner, um, and that situation is very tough for me. And if I get hit off stage, I feel like I just automatically die.
I can definitely help you out with all those things. So also on the low percent regrab things, that's like a really like in-depth mini game that I don't think most people have an understanding of,
Hmm.
especially most Jigglypuff players. So you can actually like kind of get um how do I explain? You can kind of like get a lot more percentage off of it than you think you can. Just give me one sec.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
Alright, so I'm gonna watch the first couple stocks of this, kind of think what I think is going on. Just kind of try to get a read for the situation. Alright. to see how you go about this situation. It's a rough spot. Oh, you got your jump red.
Yep.
Okay, let's rewind a bit. So, one thing I'll say, right off the rip, oh god,
Hmm.
this spot right here, this feels like versus Chic stuff, where you're
Hmm.
kind of up in her grill and you're like trying to bait something out, like trying to find your spot to like edge in a grab. This
Hmm.
kind
Hmm.
of situation against Puff gets you fucking rested. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to fuck with this type of thing. Like you want to get her away from you and kind of box her out.
Okay.
And whenever you go for this like little dash dance around her and stuff, like um, for me, once this started, like this would be my cue right here to fucking leave. Like I would be running. Can
Yeah.
you see my cursor?
Yes.
I would be running over here and going back to fairs.
Yep.
And also these low back airs, they're kind of difficult to deal with. A lot of puffs will do more like back airs like up here, and that's
Hmm.
really easy to deal with, and I'm sure you kind of already
Yes.
could. Because you can kind of just clip them with with like this part of the fair, and it just like beats them out.
Hmm.
Against these low back airs, there's a couple of things you can do. You can kind of you can nair it, which you end up pulling out later, and maybe this is it. Yep, there it is. And nair is kind of a thing I like in this matchup at either really low or really high percent. Once it gets to mid
Hmm.
percent, I don't really press that button that much because
Okay.
what it does at low percent is it's a combo starter, and at high percent, like 140, it'll start killing.
Yes.
But around like 50, I'm definitely sketched out to do it. Another
Okay.
thing against these low backers that I really like is you know the fair Zane kind of spams where he does like a jump and then he like fast falls down, does the landing fair that covers in front of
Yes.
you. That's very good specifically if you drift it back in this matchup. Like if you
Hmm.
do the
Hmm.
sort of like um have you seen the thing where you can dash forward and then you do the jump back?
I think so. I can definitely imagine it. So like,
Yeah. Like, let me show you this really quick because it's like
hmm,
it's very specific how it messes with your momentum,
yep.
but it's really fucking nice and it's really nice in this matchup.
Yes.
Where is my Uncle Punch? Here. Okay. All right. Can you see this now or no?
No, it's still sharing the um
Oh, that makes
VOD.
sense. Here. How about now? There we go.
Uh, yes. Thank you.
Oh, but I have two things of Dolphin open, I think. Something. My controller's not working. That's not good.
Hmm.
It must
Yeah, that
be
might
because
be
I
it.
have the. Here, I'm gonna just close this VOD really quick and kind of get like a mental on where we were.
Hmm.
Alright,
Hmm.
that's fine. Alright, there we go. Alright, so this fair in specific is very good. So, like, you'll notice that obviously, if you dash forward and hold forward, you kind of just like drift in. But you can
Yes.
dash forward and then jump back, and it
Hmm.
kind of like instantly pulls your momentum backwards, where you like but you don't necessarily float all the way back. Like you like kind of get this like weird stuck in place and then slight drift back motion. This
Yes.
is very often how I like to like kind of force my way in versus puff because oftentimes whenever you just like do a fair in place or you like do an approaching fair, you'll kind of get clipped by bear in a spot where you don't really it doesn't really like make sense on why you do. Like it like barely hits your hand as it's coming down or whatever. But if you
Yes.
go for this type of fair, it kind of does you're like pushing yourself forward with the dash instead of with the move, and then you're using the move to like retain the space afterwards. And
Yes. Definitely.
this will beat out that backer a lot of the time. Um,
Right.
and
And if
oftentimes it
not,
ends
I
up
can
just
at
like
least, yeah.
not interacting with it and pushing them away too. Sorry, what were you
Hmm.
gonna say?
Hmm. Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I can at least like hold that space, you know,
Yeah,
instead of if they fade back and I don't clip them, then that's That's fine.
Yeah, literally yes, exactly. You should have died there. All right, so when I get an opening on Jigglypuff, lit like I want you to think of it like this. You get an opening on Puff, your goal initially isn't to kill her. Your
Hmm.
goal initially is literally get 60%.
Yes.
That's all you care about right now. And she's like, because if you pivot tipper her at 55, in most situations, unless you get like the juiciest positioning on Yoshi's story, she's not dead.
Yes.
So all I
Could you
care
share a
about.
screen again, by the way?
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if
my
you're
bad.
back to
Sorry,
the
thank you
pod.
for bringing that up. Um, Sorry, this spot right here. You go for this
Yep.
tipper, um, which sometimes it can be good for positioning. There we go. Is it working?
Yeah, definitely. And I know the one that you're talking about too.
Yeah, this one. You
Just
go
kind of
for
a
this tipper.
lazy. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you could have regrabbed or gone for down air here actually. Going for dare in this spot where you like shoot her down like at low percent is actually very good. Um, and it's not good in the way that it is versus Marth and Spaceys where you're like sick I gimped them or like Sheik for instance. What it
Hmm.
does to Puff is very very slow at coming directly upwards. Like this is her if she's down below the ledge and she has to come directly up to the ledge, she's
Hmm.
kind of in a hellish spot. And what you're looking for there typically isn't like, oh, I want to see pound and reverse up be it, or like try to clipper air dodge with down air, which like you can do that stuff, but it's kind of more like I wouldn't recommend it in bracket. Like it's kind of like
Hmm.
swaggy friendlies type thing. What you're looking for there is you're looking for literal like chip damage when she's
Yep.
coming up to like force her to have to recover over and over again. Because that
Hmm.
spot's a position where you can easily get like 50%. Um,
So, like, I imagine she's coming up kind of close to stage. Try to get like a super low fair and catch her on the way up, or
Jab and down tilt are very, very good.
jab and down tilt. Okay,
You can do fair too, but she kind of has to be coming up over here. And like when she's
gotcha.
doing that, just going for a dare again to like try to see if you can get the stock, but like not take a lot of risk. Like like the
Hmm.
run off double jump back to stage dare that like covers like the space.
Yes.
That's fine too. Um, and I'm gonna see if you go for the chin grab type thing too in a bit. So
No,
you
I
end
have
up
no
getting
idea how to execute it. So I probably don't, or if I do, I probably whiff on like the very first regrab.
alright, let's see. I know you don't for like a bit at least. I'm wondering if it's in like one of the later games, or I can explain kind of how it works. Oh, here's another thing. Recovering against Jigglypuff.
Hmm.
It does not work how you think it does. I'll say
Yeah.
that much. So against every other character in the game, recovering down here and then going up to the ledge is or onto stage
Hmm.
is your juice. Against Puff, it's horrible. She will wreck you. There's this fair she can do where she drifts back and does a fair at the ledge. It's invincible and it will
Yep.
reverse hit you and kill you. And if you land on stage, you get rested. You
Yes.
actually want to go for high recovery mix-ups as much as humanly possible. Like,
Okay.
like that stuff that gets you killed against Marth, where you do like random side B double jump air dodge into the stage and stuff like that. And you have to be
Hmm.
really tricky with it, or else you'll still get hit. But high recovery against Jigglypuff, as weird and unintuitive as it feels, it kind of frees this type of thing up because she has to call it out.
Yes.
Like if you watch me play against Tony, I recover in this area like 95% of the time, and he's really bad at covering it because he instantly goes to the ledge because every like you would the default you would think would be double jump to ledge, you know what I mean? So they
Yes.
instantly go to the ledge to try to cover it.
Okay, yeah, that's very helpful because I've noticed that, but I still don't have that like bravery to actually
I
recover high a lot. But I think I just have to start pushing for it.
I guarantee if you just instant double jump air dodge, he just grabs the ledge and you like get back. Like
Yeah.
and like there's a whole bunch of different things you can do, right? Like you can
Hmm.
doing like falling fairs and stuff like that's very good too. I suggest watching PPU because you'll find like a bunch of like little mix-ups he does in that spot that he's very good
Yes.
about. That's kind of how I figured it out as well. Side B at 78. I don't agree, but that's okay. And that should have been pivot tipper, but you messed it up, and that's fine.
Hmm.
Um, I want to see the side B again, actually. Yeah, that's fine. This side B is typically really good because it forces Puff to engage with you to get hit by it, and usually when she's engaging with you, she's in the air.
Hmm.
But I would do it a little later. You want to do this around like 100. You don't really
Yes.
want to do it around 78. And once I get the Puff around 60 off of one opening, everything I'm thinking is like, okay, pivot tipper, pivot tipper, pivot tipper, like try to find it, and like
Yes.
I only do moves to hold my ground at that point. And that's where that fair kind of comes in as well. Is it's like I'm literally only throwing out moves to hold my ground. And if they're really rest heavy like Tony is, like Tony just like really
Hmm.
wants to
Hmm.
like in this spot, he's like, "Oh yes, I have a fresh stock to rest Marth on." That's when I start playing much safer. But
Yes.
until I get rested for going for a grab, I'm like looking for the juicy pivot tipper. Um, and spots that you can do it in, like get grabs on Jigglypuff in specific, is like you see. Okay, so if he does back air, he's not forced
Hmm.
to land. But if he does short hop, any other aerial he is. And
Okay.
maybe forward air he isn't, but I'm not 100% sure. I always forget. Um, but the thing to be conscious here of is you see how he like instantly crouches and goes into shield.
Yes.
Most puffs when they land go into crouch.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the reason why is what I explained to you over DMs, where Jigglypuff players, they the good ones are aware that they start like she has the breathing animation just for the stream. She has this little breathing animation when she's in crouch where she goes up and down, and it's kind of RNG on if Marth can grab her or not. But the good ones are
Yes.
aware that whenever she initially goes into crouch, she's fully deflated, and you can get rested for trying to grab her, which is
Hmm.
where you go for like a little tricky dash dance. Like that's the spot to go for that sort of thing. Is like she lands and you're like, okay, I think she's gonna crouch. She dash dance for like a second and then grabs, so it just throws off the
Yes.
timing a little bit, and they would have to like intentionally wait. And a lot of puffs will react to like specifically Marth dash in to try to get a rest.
Hmm.
Um, and you can kind of, as long as you don't poke your head at her, you can kind of like randomly like bait them to rest.
Yeah.
As
Yeah. Yeah.
goofy as it sounds, and if you do that sort of thing too, that was good. And then you missed the pivot. That's fine. It's gonna happen. Stupid controller bullshit. Yada yada. Whatever. I wouldn't even stress over it.
See there where he clipped me with bear and he hit it super low. I feel like that situation shouldn't happen to me.
Yeah,
Like
the
either
fair
I
should
could
have
react
probably
or I
already
could
been
just
out.
be not empty landing or something, but that was something that was rough for me is that I felt like a lot of the time I get hit by bear either because I'm mistiming the fair or just not reacting. So maybe that's something we can uh, think about if it happens again.
Ooh, Roland is very scary in this matchup. Oh, so here's another thing. Once Puff's at like 80 or 90-ish,
Yep.
if you get a grab on her, don't go for pivot anymore. This should have
Okay.
been wave dash back forward smash, and it would have killed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So 90 is the maximum like you can get a pivot tipper, and it's kind of one of those things where like like the wave dash works, and it's like so hard to execute it because you have to get all the way to the end of your dash and then pivot to get it there.
Yes.
So typically at 90 is like my cutoff point for going for pivot tipper. And
Mm-hmm.
usually when I get her at this point, I'm kind of in like, all right, I fucked up. I didn't get the pivot tipper. Now it's time. Like, you know how foxes will have their like up throw up air percents in their mind, and once they reach a
Yes.
certain point, they're like, okay, cool. Now I have to kill her with back air at 150. You're
Mm-hmm.
basically in that range, like very, very soon, where you're like, I
Okay.
need to side B up tilt or something, or kill her with fair, because like your time to get a grab and try to kill her is like very much so waning.
Yes. In that situation where she's kind of spamming back air, that's the kind of situation where I feel like there's no way I could possibly get a grab. And I know at this percentage, it's like you say, it's not like I have like a guaranteed kill route, but this is where I feel like I just don't even know what I can do to actually grab Jigglypuff. People talk about grabbing the landing, but it just feels impossible.
Well, so here's what's happening is that Jigglypuff can do, and this is what he's spamming. She can do this mix up between short hop bear, buffer double jump, and
Mm-hmm.
short hop bear land. And that's what he's doing here, and it's why you feel like you're getting walled out super hard. Um,
Yep.
Also, another thing that I want you to be wary of, I mean, it's kind of memey, but Jigglypuff can't punish F Smash on shield if you tipper it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in this spot, you actually can just rip a tipper. Like if
Yeah.
she's at 100, she's floating, you know what I mean? You can kind of just rip it and force her to want to be grounded. Um,
Right.
but the other thing is just like fighting out of the corner with fair.
Okay.
Usually like I literally think of this matchup as forward air versus back air to
Okay.
describe it in like very very layman's terms. That was fine. Yeah, that was good. I like that a lot. A thing I like versus Puff a lot because you don't want to go to ledge because she doesn't have any risk trying to challenge you is I like light shield on plats when she's invincible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do personally is I try to bait them into going down and then I go up to the platform and light shield. Like
Okay.
like here you go straight to the platform and he's already pressuring you. And like when he's up on the angel plat, he can kind of just float down and hit. But I'll be like here, and then I'll see him chase me, and then go up to the top plat and light shield.
Okay.
Cause like once
Nice.
he's below it, he has a hard time like vertically maneuvering up there.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the type of back air that like should be juice for you to challenge or to just like it's kind of like one of those things where I don't challenge it every time. I oftentimes see this position and I'm like, well, you're also invincible, so it's a little different. But I oftentimes see this position, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down with him just like waiting up there for however long. I'll just dash dance and like hold my ground, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You're dashing back way too far in this spot.
Yep.
Like you want to typically when Puff's cornered, you want to like hold this space right here.
Okay.
All right. All right, so now is as good a time as ever to go over like throw stuff because
Yep.
I feel like with those three grabs, you should I'm thinking to try to two opening Puff typically,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and with those three grabs, like she should already be dead. Um,
Yes.
and if she's not, it's like good on them sort of situation. I have to
Mm-hmm.
open up Uncle Punch again, but let's go over it really quick. All right, now I gotta stream to you again, my Uncle Punch. There we go. All right, so these are the things to kind of think about. There's a mini game that exists once you grab Jigglypuff.
Mm-hmm.
It has a little more layers to it than you think. So obviously we can go CPU options. Where's her DI? Trajectory DI inward, right? And we can just
Mm-hmm.
like maybe she has to no DI it. When you see the up DI, you kind of need an air.
Yep.
Holy shit, I'm bad. Is there not a like? Why is it inward? Oh, it's doing survival DI. Okay, I see what the issue
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
now. Is there a way to fight just like a normal CPU, I wonder?
And you can set the exact DI too to
Oh
just
yeah,
holding.
true.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of this earlier and it was counterintuitive. I guess it's not exactly what I thought it would be.
Yeah, so well the whole thing is like you're they're typically trying to DI down and away on something. Because if they
Yes.
DI up, you get strings.
Mm-hmm.
So your whole guess is to try to guess like which way they're going to DI down and away and try to get the other one, right?
Right. Same as Tipper.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's a little bit more layers to this than you think there is though, because whenever you grab Jigglypuff, um, the first thing that you can do is throw them really fast. And if
Mm-hmm.
you throw them very, very fast, typically they'll just miss the DI.
Yes.
Um, that's like a thing to be conscious of. And this adds a whole bunch of other layers because you want pummels. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I talked to you about I'm doing this on the CPU where I'm
Yes.
getting pummel forward throw. And like I can show you here, grab escape. Where's that?
Yeah, I was doing this in practice and I was trying to figure out if this is real because usually
It
they
is.
mash out like right away. So Puff
It's
can't mash out at 0? That's crazy.
no character can. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing her, I'm instantly pummeling, and then right out of the pummel, I'm plinking my C stick and my gray stick. So
Okay.
that I'm trying to time it on one of them to get the throw perfectly, and on the
Yes.
other one, I'm doing it slightly delayed so that if I do it too early, the other one will throw it out.
Yes.
So I'm like, you can do this to Fox too. But what this creates is it puts them in a situation where most puffs will see you pummel at very low percent and assume you're going to down throw, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
fine, and a lot of times you'll just like kind of get it anyways. Um, because the down throw is a little trickier to DI it because they have to like consciously know that they're going the other way, and it reverses their DI, right?
Yes.
Like, cause like if I spam down throw, right, like the next time it's the other way. Where
Right.
forward throw isn't like that, they can kind of just like get the next one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what this means is that you can condition the Jigglypuff player to think to start DIing down when they see pummel, like start DIing away
Yep.
from you, and then get these ones where you
Yes.
get the pummel forward throw, and it becomes very confusing. And then sometimes you can choose to not go for the pummel, and it actually like Zane does this shit to Hungry Box. Like it sounds very goofy, but it's like it's very much so real because you're in the 50-50 spot of like trying to trick
Yes.
them with the timing of your throw.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd initially suggest just spamming down throw immediately and just like doing it over and
Yes.
over again, and then like kind of doing the mix-ups as they figure it out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's much easier to regrab two off of the down throw. I noticed. The fair is like a little bit
yeah.
you're grabbing with like a weird part of it. She's kind of like higher than you would think. But okay, cool.
So let's get to her DI again. Trajectory DI. Let's just do inward again. So when you see this, at
Yep.
very low percent, I go for nair typically. But you
Yes.
can also go for like forward air, and forward air, up air. Because your whole goal here is to just get 60% before you go back to neutral game. Right?
Yes.
You don't care about trying to kill her. You're actually trying to build up damage. Um, and you can get like this too, where you like down throw and then turn around there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and kind of the idea of going for the nair at low percent is like you cash out, like
Yes.
on your chain grab, like on your like regrab mix up. Let's call it that because it's not really a chain
Mm-hmm.
grab.
Mm-hmm.
You're cashing out and you're being like, okay, I think they're getting the DI next time for sure. I'm going for the nair this time, and then you try to lead that into forward air strings or juggles when she's above
Yes.
you to just try to get the percent before you go back to neutral. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times, once I get them to like 68-ish, I kind of like try to put them in the corner or something and put them in like an unfavorable neutral position to try to find a grab.
Yes.
And you obviously know about this, right? Where you like do the dash grab to grab the crouch or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's still hard for me, but I'm working on it.
Well, do you do the boost grab or do you do just like regular dash grab?
I just do regular dash
Yeah,
grab.
that's what I'd suggest too. I used to do the boost grab, but a lot of times you can actually just like fuck up the spacing and get rested because you like don't have the timing down, and I don't think it's worth the risk reward of like getting this
Yeah,
slight
yeah.
little like. Except for I just got it like 15 times in a row, so
Hmm, hmm.
that's kind of funny. Let me go back to sharing my dolphin.
Hmm.
Here's this. Where's my Twitch? There it is. I play pup. Okay. Is that Connect Four Master in the chat? Let's fast forward a
Oh,
bit. Falcon Lombardi too. Sounds like a name you'd have. This is about where we were, I believe. Or it's like right after this talk. Yeah, because I remember thinking that was good.
and yeah, this the low recovery thing is really killing me.
Yeah, it's like much worse than you think it would be. And like whenever you go for low recovery, I kind of think like the default, like I go for instant up B a lot to just try to clip
Yeah.
them. Yeah, because there you definitely could have regrabbed that, like 100%. And that's, you also, okay, I kind of see what's happening here actually. You're trying to stop yourself from JC grabbing because you don't want to do it in neutral, but in the punish, you have the JC grab.
Hmm.
Also, if you see this DI where they like hit the ground, I go for Nair here a lot of the time, just to like I go for like Nair right here to hit the mistech tech in place,
Yep.
and that way you're like safe. Where if you go for a grab on their tech into place mistech, you can get rested a lot. But on the
Yes.
roll, you can go for the grab or an aerial. But I typically like going for like a sort of like Reed-esque Mewtwo King tech chase in the spot because I don't really want to fuck with doing this exactly because it's just
Right.
terrifying.
Yeah.
All right, you're here. Roll out of the corner is really scary. I would mostly mix up between like a fighting out with fair, or
Yeah, I think
nair.
that was a execution flub on a wave dash, but yeah.
Yeah, wave dash is like the default. You can go from the platform. That's pretty good.
Hmm. I hate being above puff. That's, I guess, one thing I'll say about going to plat is that it always feels very scary getting down because she can drift so fast that if she just short hop drifts, it feels like it covers tons of my possible options. So
So
I either, yeah,
the one that's really good that you wouldn't think would be is down air. It actually beats
yeah,
up air a lot of the time and gets you a reversal. Like especially like down air, like going down onto the plat or like edge canceling it can be extremely powerful.
hmm, hmm,
Yeah, this is where it's like dash dance time, honestly, to like try
okay,
to find the grab. Alright, you should be dead here though.
yep,
Yeah, there you side beat at 70 again. That's a thing to be wary of. Like
yeah,
now you can
definitely.
still get grab follow-ups. You actually have
Hmm.
like death grab follow-ups from 60 to the point that she dies off the top from up throw. So what you do is there's a bit where it's cheesy, and I won't pretend like it's not. What you do is at 60 you go for pivot tipper. Actually off of down throw you don't need to pivot until 67.
Yep.
So at 60 you go for pivot tipper. And then at like 90, you start going for forward throw, wave dash, F smash, or down throw, wave dash, F smash. But it has a
Yep.
very small range where it actually mixes up because there's a
Hmm.
little while where she can DI up and get out of both of them.
Yep.
Um, and what you do there at like around 110, 120-ish is you want to forward throw, dash, wave dash, tipper up tilt,
Mm-hmm.
and
Give me
that'll.
just a sec. Someone
You're
rang the
good.
doorbell.
You're good. I'll actually just write this all down for homeboy.
All right. Okay.
That's kind of like the my flowchart on how I do it.
Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, I have the like super detailed one that Grab made, and it's like a little bit overwhelming, so this is good, I think, just to
Yeah, a lot of that,
get a simpler plan.
a lot of Marth flowcharts are very overwhelming, and then you look at the Sheik ones, and
Yes.
it's like down throw up air on this DI.
Yep.
Oh, it's actually
Yeah.
tilting as fuck, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I like about this matchup is it's like very straightforward how to kill off a grab,
Yeah,
at least. Like
exactly.
it can get a little complicated, but it's not that complicated. If you get the grab, you should be able to kill. Unlike a lot of other matchups where it gets very
Gauge.
tricky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, this is what I mean about the instant upbeat type thing, too. Well, A, you could have recovered high there onto the plat. You kind of
Hmm.
have to, like, be wary of how Puff, like, how is where she's existing on the stage and how fast she can move to wherever you're going. Because typically, vertically, she's very bad at covering. So that's
Hmm.
why high recovery can be good, because oftentimes they have to, like, hard cover you going on the ledge. Or they give it
Okay.
to you for free. But like
Yep.
here, like instead of doing the double jump back, you could have instant upbeat and clipped them trying to go to the ledge.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm curious on how. So, do you know which FD game is first?
Mm.
Cause
Yeah, actually, let me check. Oh, never mind. Could you tell me the the file names?
one
Like
ends
just
in
the last
two
three
and
digits?
one
Yeah.
ends in zero. So it's 712 and 050.
712 and 050. This is the problem when you play too much Slippy.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'll open up the launcher. I think that'll just tell me. Sometimes the launcher takes hella long to show you replays.
Yeah, it
Um,
does for me all the time. It's super annoying. Oh, actually, you know what? I can see the fucking timestamp of when the
oh,
game
nice.
happened. I'm
Okay.
so stupid. It's like right here. Holy shit. All right. And then I need to restream the on Discord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. God, Slippy's so good in some ways and so bad in others. It's actually insane. But
Yeah, for real.
for a free program to play melee with rollback, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so detail is a scary one. I only ever detailed if I see them crouching. I typically don't like to fuck with it like in neutral very much, because it has a lot more risk to it than you think it would. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are times where F Smash literally has like significantly higher or like significantly less risk than this. Like you'll play puffs that'll like roll in rusty for trying to detail. Like it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
crazy, and
Mm-hmm.
he can like clip over you with bear.
Yes. And by the way,
Um,
I can't see the stream.
you
I'm
can't.
not sure.
Oh, am I streaming in my Discord? What the hell? Oh, it's the display. Okay, here.
Okay,
Is that
nice.
better?
Thank you.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, man. All right. Yeah,
Okay.
here I would be like kind of what you want to think is that there's like a tug of war that happens in the matchup between back air and forward air. And
Yep.
you really want to win that tug of war because your forward air is actually kind of bigger. Um, so you should be able to do it, right? So she throws out her back air, you throw out your forward air, and kind of if either of you drift in, you'll get hit. Um, so what your goal should be here is to like push her this way with your fair to try to get her cornered because like I said, when you get puff off stage, like you can't like it's not like traditional edge guarding like you would against Fox or Falco or whatever, but
Yep.
you can like kind of put her in the vortex and like force her to eat much more damage than she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would for now just like literally um cut the down tilts out of your game plan.
Yes.
Um Also,
Yeah.
this is
Um,
another. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, and I'm not fairing at all. I'm just dash dancing. Maybe just
Yeah.
because I feel like I can't get a good position, but yeah.
You know how Falcos like they always talk about how the good Falcos laser or they dash dance between their lasers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should be doing with forward air. It should literally be like forward air dash dance, forward air dash dance, forward air dash dance, like in really
Okay.
really tight. Like you don't the um the really long-winded dash dances are not very good against Jigglypuff, but the really tight ones are. Like when you like do like this
Yes.
sort of thing. Like dash dance shield drop forward air, or sorry, dash dance shield stop forward air, dash dance jump back forward air, like that sort of thing should be like the crux of your game plan.
Yes. Okay.
Also, this is a nitpick, but so you can like you can grab Puff out of the air with JC grab or
Mm-hmm.
pivot grab a lot of the time. Like I don't know if it would have worked there, but it's a thing to be wary of because you have to
Yes.
be ready to change the grab that you're doing in this matchup between dash grab to grab crouch and pivot
Yes.
grab to grab her out of the air. All right, this is good. That's what I like to see. Okay, another thing. So talking about dealing with Jigglypuff's down throw. This was fine because it would have pushed you in the corner. But typically, you want to DI it out unless it'll force you onto a plat. Because if it forces you
Yes.
onto a plat, you get RTC rested and you're dead. And then, like, and this is more of a tri-plat stage sort of thing, but going for, like, double jump onto a platform waveland off is very good in that
Mm-hmm.
sort of situation. I'm actually, like, curious to watch you play versus a more rest-heavy Puff, because he's kind of just back airing.
Yeah.
That nair was good. Okay, he just DI'd it. That's fine. He got back throw. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what I like to see more of. But I would like to see you like the default should not be empty land. It should be throwing out the fair because oftentimes you
Yes.
can't punish it. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
really not in as much risk as you think you are for just like whiffing fair, especially
Yep.
if you drift it back, and that's kind of the nice thing. Oh, this is where that like pivot grab or like JC grab comes in, by the way. Is
Okay.
every Jigglypuff spams this. Every single one. They all spam this back air off the ledge because it puts her, or sorry, the pound off the
Yes.
ledge because it puts her all the way over here. And if you
Mm-hmm.
punish this pound in specific, like really, really hard, you will just randomly get wins on Jigglypuffs all over the fucking place for no reason. And you can just wait until this happens and then grab her after while she's in the air still. It's kind of like dealing with Bowser get up attack, where you like sit and like all the way out here and like try to bait her into doing it and then grab it.
Yes.
As goofy as that sounds, but I have like 300 hours in Marth Bowser. Don't ask me why. Yeah, that's good. Look at this jab. This is what I want to see like more of when you have Puff off the stage. Is like your jab, like what I'm talking about. Whenever you get her below the ledge, like the jab can be
Yes.
really good, and it's just to force her to like have to go back up. That bear was fine. I would be trying to go for another one of those bears, to be honest, right there.
Hmm.
Oh, what do you do? What the fuck? Okay.
I wasn't confident in the D smash.
It would work.
Yeah.
Alright, you got back throw on accident. See what I'm talking about? The instant uppy. That dare was fine. And you're dashing back way too far again. You
Yeah.
look at this. You give
Right.
him all this, like literally the entire stage from having him
I
in the
think I just
corner.
respect it too much. I don't know why, but yeah, I think I
Well,
just like
this is
feel
where
like
those
Puff
jump
has
back
something to
fairs
do.
come in. Is that
Hmm.
you're like holding your ground instead of going this far back. And like if you want to make
Yep.
it ambiguous on where you do it, that's where the back airs are really, or that's where the dash dances, like the really tight ones, are very good.
Yep.
I like these up airs a lot too. This is all fine. Because you haven't really entirely pushed him out of like the percentage where you can do stuff yet. And sometimes I'll just keep the juggle going too. It kind of depends on like how much I respect the Jigglypuff player. Like when I'm playing
Yep.
against one that's like worse than me, I'm like way more pivot tipper happy. Like way more
Right.
grab happy, but it's kind of its whole own thing. Yeah, so you
See,
have
there
the
I just wasn't
idea
ready.
here, but you just like
Yeah.
need to play a little closer.
Yeah. And again, that I like this because that's so easy to practice. That's the thing that I guess I struggle with is I don't have that many Jigglypuffs to play, so if I
Yeah.
can just grind something out in Uncle Punch, like a reaction to pound, then yeah, it gets a lot easier.
Look at how much he's landing and crouching after his aerials though, right? Like he does it there, he does it again. He
But see,
wave
how do
dashes
I get
back, he
close
does it
enough?
again. Huh?
That's what I feel like I can't do is I feel like the right, especially at this percent, I'm just scared that he's not gonna land. He's gonna do one more back air, and I'm gonna rush in order to try to punish the landing, and I'll eat shit for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's where the fairs come in. Is like if you
Okay.
don't want to, it's like a less risky way, like doing a fair in place to try to punish that is like a less risky way of going about it. Or you can even do approaching fair. Like approaching fair is fine. It just is going to lose to like back air. Like if
Yes.
he does like a retreating bear, it'll lose. But approaching fair is fine. I approaching fair a lot in this matchup, and that's like the sort of thing that you can choose to do if you don't feel like as confident in getting the grab to punish something, like whiff punish something is like instant rising approaching fair.
If I
Like
did want to whiff punish it though, is it just a hard commitment? I just have to be brave and understand that a lot of the time he is gonna land. Do you know what I mean?
well,
Because I
like
guess that's the thing
I'm
I'm
not
struggling
really
with.
threatened by Jigglypuff's crouch. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like I kind of would be dash dancing very tight and close to him. And like the other thing
Okay.
too is that this type of back air starts to go away when you wall with fair a lot.
Right. Yeah.
You start seeing it significantly less, and you see them like back air in place much more.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to like hard commit as much because kind of when you see it, it starts like the fair really puts like Forda really puts everything into perspective in this matchup because it kind of just like deletes a lot of the options that you're having problems with because the Jigglypuff will just get hit for it repeatedly. If that makes
Yes.
sense. So like the answer is like kind of yes, kind of no. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I mean like like trying to grab Peach when she like lands with a float cancel aerial or something is kind of like a similar thing where oftentimes you're like waiting for like the beat after to try to get it like because you're not trying to grab the aerial landing necessarily. Sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
can. And I'll go for it because the aerial landing, he's not able to rest you out of it, right? You can just
Yes.
straight up grab it. But like the AC, the bear auto cancels off a short hop.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why like when I see back air in specific, I like wait a beat, and on the other aerials, I'll just like gun for it.
Gotcha.
Like on this, I'm like, okay, he's invincible, but on that, I would be going in to try to get grab right there.
Yes. Okay. I'll work on that too.
All right, you get rested. That's fine. It's just gonna fucking happen. Um, damn, you're so scared of Puff.
This is a lag spike,
Oh,
so
it
that's
is.
why we're both doing
Oh,
that.
okay, okay. I was like, shit, why the
I
fuck
know
did
I
you
saw the
double roll
double
away?
roll. I was like, no, yeah, that was a lag spike.
I'd never press dash attack in this matchup. It's
Okay.
like, you should have died for doing that.
Yes. Okay.
You straight up got unlucky. Also, another thing about the grab, can I frame by frame?
Hmm.
Is I need to show you the hitbox of this grab. Because it's not what you think it is, and there's like a
Hmm.
specific spacing you have to go for it. Where's my Discord? There it is. Cool. Please open fucking Slippy. What the hell? I'm
Also, give
stupid.
me one
Okay,
second.
you're good. I gotta like set it up anyways. It's fucking Uncle Punch, so.
Training mode. Mark. Jigglypuff.
All right. Thank you.
You're good, man. Fighter collision on. Okay. Okay. I need to go in a frame by frame. Oh, that's actually gonna
I
kind of
know.
fuck me. Um,
Yep.
alright, so if we go into frame by frame, what the fuck? Okay, I'll do it with X, whatever. If we go into frame by frame, if you watch his grab come out,
Yep.
you s what you're intending to grab her with is you're not intending to grab her with, you see the front hitbox on his hand?
Yes.
That's not what you're intending to grab her with. You're intending to grab her with like your armpit,
Yes.
like the
Yes.
armpit hitbox.
Knee kind of area
Yeah.
between the armpit and the knee. Yeah.
So, because like, look, if you go for this one, it's way more common that you'll just like randomly whiff over. Like, I literally got the spacing right there. That wasn't even her like breathing. It's just literally like spacing where it'll whiff over. So you have to
Yeah.
overshoot your grab into her a little bit, and that's why Jigglypuff will react to you dashing in and rest.
Yes.
So what happened was you were getting the that grab when you need to get that
Hmm.
one. You need to just dash in a little further, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I kind of feel like we're gonna just see a lot of the same things in the next game. Do you
I
want to
pretty
try?
much
I mean, my puff's
exactly.
gonna be Garb, but do you want to try playing against my puff for a bit? Like, feel it
Yeah,
out.
and I have to go maybe in
Oh,
a
right, you have
few
work.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, they told me too that they're running a little late as well, so I'd be down to like
I mean, you should just get games
down
with a
yeah.
better puff than mine. You're gonna just fuck my puff up. I don't play early.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I'll keep grinding, but that's actually really helpful. Um because like the punish practice stuff is easy, but a lot of that game plan stuff is I think why I'm getting
Yeah, I
completely bodied.
agree. Tight dash chances with forward air is like the crux of it. It's
Yeah.
like really, really important. And if we have a sec still, we can like pull up a Zane VOD.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Like you'll see his neutral game is like he plays
Oh
it
no,
so,
those
and
kind
this is
type
like
of
a recent one,
conversations.
right?
I feel like everybody who is
This
in that
isn't like
conversation
Zane
has
fucking
had
up HBox
a
era.
crazy losers run.
Yeah.
Oh,
Head to
also
head,
another thing,
Yo, the
random
fact number one,
nitpicky
and you know
thing.
what's the
Don't go to
crazy part
Battlefield.
is,
Never
is one
fucking
of
go to
these.
Battlefield. That
Okay.
stage, that bitch fucking loves that stage. It's like Dreamland 2. You want to go to Fountain of Dreams. Just
Gotcha.
force them to
Okay.
strike every single time. Ban Battlefield Dreamland. They
And
don't
Bell,
have.
I was gonna ask that. Thank you. I almost forgot to ask that. So ban Battlefield and Battlefield and Dreamland, Force to Strike. What are my ideal counter picks in a best of 5 and in a best of 3?
Okay, so in best of three, well, so fucking, it depends on the puff because oftentimes they'll
Hmm.
ban Yoshis, and I don't think that's smart.
Okay.
The reason why I don't think that's smart is because A, when they're really well, so there's a few reasons. Yoshi's is very high variance. I don't like that. Thing B,
Yes.
oftentimes because of the Yoshi's platforms, that bitch will literally like miss the DI and then end up on the Yoshi's platform anyways, and you won't get your pivot
Yeah.
tripper. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I like FD and Pokemon Stadium because I like having the space.
Yes.
So like your second counter pick should be Pokemon, or if they ban FD. And
Yes.
sometimes I'll go Yoshi's, but it's kind of like it depends. And like usually I feel like I'm better than most Jigglypuff players at this matchup, so I don't really like that variance on Yoshi's story.
Definitely, yeah.
Um,
If your game plan is good, then the long stages should be good.
Zane picks Pokemon first, which is interesting to me, but I personally I like FD. Um,
Hmm.
okay, so he changed. I mean Yoshi's is good too, right? So it's like you kind of pick between those three. I personally go FD. That's just
Yes.
me. Um, I mean,
This
I
is
listen to the
this is
master
losers.
here, but
Losers. I'm just
Hmm.
sitting
Hmm.
right.
and you'll see like
It's like
here's
yo,
the situation that
number
you
one
had
when
when
you
you
know
started
what
off
the
the game
crazy
too, where you
part
crossed him up
one of
and you
these
like
they
try to get an
both
opening.
lost.
Zane just
This is this,
bails.
this is losers.
This is losers. I'm just
Right.
sitting
Like
pretty.
Hmm.
right here,
Right.
he's just like out and he's
That's like
forwarding.
yo, the fact that we're talking like yo, these
And
two the best to ever do it,
when
and
you
they're
get
like
the
yo,
forwarders, like
Oh,
you
there's
want
someone
to
in
try to
winners just
screen
chilling.
them just
Hey,
to get
yo,
like
that's
60%
a
as much
yeah,
as
he went
humanly
big
night night.
possible.
mistake.
Yes.
He got
Also,
the
Dare is
chamomile on
really
him.
good in this matchup. When they're like grounded,
I'm
being down
surprised
there
he got
can
Yeah,
be
his
the
like
pound.
the
super
pound
strong.
rest on
Hmm.
Pound
top
rest.
platforms.
I know. I've never
That's
seen
bold.
H-Box do that.
You right?
Yeah.
And hey,
Look at how
he's
tight
been
his dash dances are though.
practicing those
Yes.
They're so
he's,
tight. And whenever
he's
he
been
H box is like
practicing
really
those
high up like that, he goes for the forward airs.
RTC rest
Like
setups,
the
man. So
rising full hop
it's
ones.
panning out.
Yes. Yes.
Man, and I mean,
When
just
do you have
H-Box
to go to your
extending
work
the
thing?
lead, one of his biggest traits
I
as a
should
player.
probably
Like,
go
he
now,
got that
but
early
this
hit,
was
and now
extremely
Zane's gonna
helpful.
I'm glad to
This gives
hear.
me a lot to work with, and I think now I just need to grind out the practice and grind out the matches. But I think that like really will fix a lot of my game plan issues,
I'm glad to hear that.
the stuff you said.
I'm excited
And
to see your next set versus a puff player, honestly.
yeah,
So,
oh, definitely. Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be a point where I probably want a follow-up lesson once I feel like I've actually solidified things.
yeah,
And I'm definitely trying to get a peach lesson as well,
that'd be tight.
um,
I'm very
sooner rather
down.
than later. But I'll probably take a little bit of time just to work on Puff.
No, I agree with you.
Um,
You should definitely do that. I think getting lessons like a lot is not very helpful, but getting them like
Same, yeah,
one because you need time to grind out all this stuff.
exactly. I've
Well,
been spamming Puffs too, so hopefully I have some matches lined up.
yeah, that's sick. You should do that. I need more puff practice because honestly, like I know this matchup like the back of my hand, but I'm super fucking rusty at it right now because there's just like no
Yep.
puffs in my region.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, no, I'm excited to see you play this, and I would just like watch this set again because I'm sure you've seen it,
Yeah,
but just like look over it and you'll see a lot of the things that I'm talking about just like being used repeatedly.
definitely.
And I'm gonna upload the VOD as soon as I humanly can. So
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, of course. Peace out, man.
Yep. Later.
Later.